can we achieve sort of biohacking and longevity with skincare healthily?
Pigmentation can show up from sun exposure. It can also be caused from trauma by doing certain skin treatments and peels and things.
Picking zits, is that considered traumatic?
Yeah,
Okay.
that can be trauma. And also it can be indications that you have something going on internally with your other organs. So your skin is your warning system to other things that are going on.
The redness is not actually the burn.
It develops into the burn, but it's your first line of defense to warn you to get out of the sun.
Right.
Which is why there are many people that will tell you to stay away from sunscreen, because if you're blocking that natural warning system, then you're overexposing your skin to sun.
But it's more wise for us to just enjoy the sun.
Yep, photosynthesis.
Use our intuition, pay attention to our body, and when we feel the time is just about right, honor that and get inside or shade up.
I will say, I tell people in person, I am not a fan of sunscreen. Nope.
Okay, so here we are with Sarah Scotford.
Yep.
Brendan Coates here, founder and host of Canada's largest and wellness biohacking expo, Longevity Summit Canada, coming into our third year. And you are one of our guest speakers.
Yay.
We know each other from a long time. Also, you're on season 1 of the Gut Gang podcast. It's fair to say that you are a model and you do a lot in acting and theater or film and media.
Yep.
And you're also a professional makeup artist. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you do? Because I don't want to butcher any of your titles.
Oh boy. I tried to give myself titles because it's a lot of them, but definitely prominent in the aesthetics world.
Right.
So aesthetics and makeup, I would say, are my two major ones at the moment. The film is kind of been and gone.
A little bit less?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, ultimately, the biggest point of conversation that we're going to be having today is how one can biohack and pursue longevity for their skin. Our skin is our largest organ. It's what everyone sees the most of. And as we get into our 40s and 50s and 60s, it's fair to say that most people are at least conscious of observing their skin changing. And some of us are a little bit more inclined to make some proactive changes. Some of us are maybe in a little bit more of a reactive state. They're like, oh my God, can I reverse some of these changes? Right. And you've seen both and you help people with both. Right. So first question is, can we achieve sort of biohacking and longevity with skincare healthily?
Absolutely. But not just topically alone. There are other things that contribute to healthy skin. As you know, the whole gut integration of it plays a big part. But yeah, absolutely. All those changes that you want to make, or like the dark spots that you see pop up, absolutely. You can biohack your way to younger skin. I won't put an age on it because I don't want to make any false promises or give hope. But yes, you can absolutely turn back the clock.
Why do we get the dark spots, for example?
Well, there's many reasons. It could be from sun exposure.
Look, and for those that are watching the podcast right now, I am completely being immersed through the rooftop window of the sun. So I might look a little bit shady, shiny in different areas, but you look great. So highlights on you.
I picked this chair for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pigmentation can show up from sun exposure. It can also be caused from trauma by doing certain skin treatments and peels and things.
Picking zits, is that considered traumatic?
Yeah,
okay.
That can be trauma. And also it can be indications that you have something going on internally with your other organs. So your skin is your warning system to other things that are going wrong.
Say that again. Your skin is what?
It's your warning system.
Kind of like a flashing light on a car dashboard.
Exactly. Well, most people think that sunburn is, a burn, which it can develop into a burn, but the redness that you see at first is your skin's warning system saying you need to step back and get out.
I didn't know that. Can you talk about sort of like maybe even the mechanisms behind that? Like what's actually happening?
I don't know. That might be a different podcast.
Okay. But so the redness is not actually the burn.
It develops into the burn, but it's your first line of defense to warn you to get out of the sun.
Right.
Which is why there are many people that will tell you to stay away from sunscreen
Mhm.
because if you're blocking that natural warning system, then, you're overexposing your skin to sun that it just doesn't need.
So let's talk about sunscreen. Are you a fan or are you not a fan? Because some people say, don't put on sunscreen because it inhibits your reactive time from realizing that you're in the sun too long. Is that correct?
I will say, I tell people in person, I am not a fan of sunscreen.
Okay. And so what's the difference between in person and on camera?
I do tell people.
Yeah.
I'm not shy about it. I know I probably should jump on the bandwagon. That's what it feels like because every doctor, dermatologist, people will always tell you, put on your sunscreen. And I was one of those
Mhm.
people saying, put on your sunscreen, not really knowing why.
What about like zinc or mineral sunscreen on your face?
Yes, that is better for you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's more wise for us to just enjoy the sun.
Yep. Photosynthesis.
Yeah. And then use our intuition, pay attention to our body. And when we feel the time is just about right, honor that and get inside or shade up.
Yeah.
Whereas
Smart.
think of what most people are doing. Let's just say people that go to all-inclusive vacations and they consume a lot of alcohol throughout the day and they're already sort of numbing their body's sensation a little bit. And then they get overexposed to sun.
Of course.
Quite often, isn't it?
They wouldn't feel that warning.
Right. And so as a result, they get burnt. Mm-hmm. Okay,
This
so
can develop into like third-degree burns. You can get the blisters, which I've seen a lot of times on girls. And if they get the blisters all over their chest or in certain areas, later on down the road, those will then show up as those brown spots.
So is it fair to say that even one severe sunburn where you get the blistering, is it almost fair to say that you're destined to get sort of blemishing or some skin marks as you get older in that spot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's usually what people start to notice first in terms of their skin aging, is that in their 30s and 40s, those brown markers will start to pop up.
Got it. Okay. So how can we mitigate that, or how can we decrease those blemishes, skin imperfections, if you will? So how can we biohack our skin?
By doing certain treatments combined with topical solutions as well as internal supplements.
You're really tapping onto that internal aspect, aren't you? Where I don't
know it's a key point for you.
Well, I can appreciate that, but is that often very much overlooked? Or are clinicians and, let's say, aesthetics professionals starting to look at the gut more? Or is it like, how would you say?
Always kind of were, because melasma is can be caused by hormones.
Okay.
Acne can
What
also
is,
be caused by certain
for those that don't know, what is melasma?
melasma?
Yeah.
The other term is pregnancy mask. So women usually develop it during childbirth, like when they become pregnant. They'll see almost like a cluster of freckles kind of looks like. So you might even develop like a little mustache, which I had at one time. I also had like a W on my forehead. So whenever I would hit the sun, it just shines bright.
Okay.
And it's hormones.
And so what is that an expression of? Like just an imbalance of hormones?
Correct.
Okay. And so that's something that women are trying to address?
Yeah, and it's not a quick fix. So a lot of people will come to me saying, how do I get rid of this? And it's not just, here, let me slap some creams on, or maybe you need a laser treatment. There's a combination of things that you need to do in order to, nip it in the butt kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So what are some of the main components or main things that you're using in your practice, or that you're helping people on your social media as well as your clients?
I think first and foremost, I like to dial it back because we are now in the era of TikTok and Instagram, and everybody's a skinfluencer,
Right.
showing all their products and saying you need this and saying you need that. And when I see people, that's the first thing I do is question them on what are they doing, what are they using, and you kind of just need to go back to simple.
Back to basics.
Back to basics.
And so what are some of those basics?
Simple cleanser. It doesn't have to have fancy ingredients, because if you actually think about what it's doing, it's washing off all the dirt, the oil, and it's flushing down the drain.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
It's not penetrating, going into your skin.
Right.
So you can get basic cleanser.
So basic cleanser. And so why do you want a basic cleanser versus, let's say, a really, really strong cleanser? Because I'm sure they're selling those, are they not?
Yeah. There's exfoliating cleansers as well, which exfoliation is definitely part of the skincare regime. But if you're using an exfoliating cleanser and then an exfoliant and maybe some other actives, that's going to be a little bit too much for your skin and it's going to strip it of its natural barrier.
Mhm.
And essentially, your skin is the first line of defense and you need that barrier. So if you're constantly stripping it, you are more susceptible to, you know,
To what? What happens?
I mean, infections, acne, rosacea, all kinds of different things.
Because the skin's starting to absorb
Correct.
pollutants
Yep.
and things like that. Okay.
Environmental damage.
Right. So what are some other things that, so if you just get a basic cleanser,
Yep.
do you have to wash your face every day?
No.
Oh,
I mean, people are shocked when I say I sleep in my makeup. I slept in my makeup last night.
interesting. Now,
Because I went out last night
Okay.
and I just kind of rolled out of bed.
now you're also not, or maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know. Are you using holistic makeup, or are you using like? Is there consequences for sleeping in your makeup?
I think for certain people it can be, because when I've told people that I sleep in my makeup, not all the time, but it's not something like, if I'm really tired and hitting the pillow, I'm not gonna make a big deal and go wash my face. I'll just sleep.
Got it.
But I think for some people, it can cause a breakout
Mm.
or reaction or something like that.
All
I
right.
mean, I'm definitely gonna wash my pillowcase and blankets afterwards for sure.
So you're just saying that you don't need to wash your face every day.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I wash it at the end of the day because I've been out and about in, city pollutants.
Yep.
So I'll wash that off my face. I don't wash in the morning.
Okay. What do you use after a cleanser? What biohacker can you use after that?
Definitely hydration. Your skin always needs hydration.
Okay. What do you use for hydration?
Simple moisturizers will do. You'll also need a serum, which will sort of be active ingredients, kind of like your multivitamin for your skin. So
Okay.
you'll need something like that. But you really don't need much. Like, your skin is meant to do what it,
Mhm.
what it does.
All right. Well, we had a podcast a little while ago, and one of our videos that we were talking about were about makeup and compounds and xenoestrogens. That
Yeah,
that
'cause
got
you're a Hashimoto client.
it got quite a lot of views and traffic and engagement, which is great.
Mhm.
Right? Mission accomplished. We're spreading the information. So what are some of the things that are becoming more known and more pronounced in, let's just say, the aesthetics world, where people are becoming more aware of those, estrogens and
Yeah.
chemicals and forever chemicals and all that?
I think it also sparked with, there were a list of sunscreens that were taken off the shelves from cancer-causing ingredients.
Mhm.
And then most recently, there was another popular acne cream that was taken off the shelves. And so that is kind of the benefit of
Which one
social
was that?
media.
Are you allowed to say?
That was, I don't
Of
know.
course. Of course. If it's taken off the shelf, then
Yeah.
do you know?
It was La Roche-Posay.
Okay. And so do you know why they,
Wait, I think.
well, we'll figure that. If it wasn't that,
Let's figure it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of their acne creams. There was an ingredient in there that they were like, wait, stop using it. We're taking it off the shelves.
Yeah.
So I think we can thank social media for that, for getting the word out, and also sort of, making people aware that, wait, maybe I do need to look into these ingredients and be a little bit more careful about what I choose and not just pay attention to marketing claims.
You made such a bold statement, and I hadn't thought about it until you said it on the first podcast. You said there are so many women that will start to look at their ingredients when they're pregnant.
Yeah.
And the label says, do not use if you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you want to just expand on that again? Because it's pretty bold.
I see that all the time where women stop using things, or they'll ask, hey, is that safe for pregnancy? No. Okay, then I won't use it. But then after I give birth, I'll use it. It's like, do you not think about, well, why? Why are you going back to using it? And why wouldn't you use it if you are carrying a child? Because you should be thinking, well, I'm passing it on to my child. So
Yes.
it's still going through me.
Of course.
And so you're going to take a break for 9 months?
I think
Is
that's
that
just
really going to leave your body and make you healthy?
it's brilliant marketing and conditioning.
Of course.
All of these years that
There are some ingredients, though, that may induce labor and things like that.
Sure.
But
Right. Okay. So we've got, you talked about a cleanser, talk about the importance of hydration.
Mhm.
And you said a serum, or a serum is hydration, or it
Not so
can be.
much.
Okay.
Serum is going to be, like I said, like your
Oh,
multivitamin.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then a moisturizer.
Yep. And
Eh,
then at some point, you definitely want to think of like an exfoliant,
Okay.
whether that be like a granular one or a chemical one. I tend to favor like a light chemical one.
Okay. What about those tools that I see you using?
So the massage tools and all that stuff, they're not going to drastically change your face. It's kind of like if you go to a massage regularly,
Mhm.
it is going to improve your muscles and it is going to improve your body shape, but it's not going to give you like the lift and the snatch look that people think it's going to give.
Is
When
there
you,
anything?
that's surgery. Yeah. And we've now entered that era of the quiet surgery where, like the Lindsay Lohans, like what did they do? The Kris Jenners who now look like, they're in their 30s
Why do you say quiet surgery?
because it's undetectable. Whereas before it was very obvious someone had had a surgery done.
Okay. Do you want to expand on that then?
In what ways?
Well, just is it faux pas? Is it accepted?
Oh, I don't think it's faux pas. Like just recently, Kylie Jenner posted how big her implants were.
Okay.
Like total transparency. And then a lot of other celebs are now jumping on that bandwagon of posting photos of themselves and being open and honest with like, hey, I had a nose job, I
Mhm.
had, a blepharoplasty. And
I think that's commendable.
yeah, I
Uh,
think to each their own. If you want to share it, great.
sure.
If not,
At least it's giving people truth
yeah,
and something that's realistic, because some of these celebrities just look like perfect human beings,
yeah,
and secretly they've had some work done, which is fine, but it just sets up for unrealistic expectations and fantasies for kids, young adults.
exactly. Well, that's how Kylie Jenner first came out, right? She had her lips done
Right.
and then claimed it was just sucking on a
Oh,
shot glass. You don't remember that?
no.
No?
These are all out of
Which
my,
you can do. You can temporarily plump them up like that.
by sucking on a shot glass,
Yeah,
making a vacuum out of it.
exactly.
And how long does it last?
Maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Depends how like hard you go.
So if you go to a nightclub, you can do that a few
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
throughout the night, and you've got plump, juicy lips throughout the night. Maybe that's the secret. So guys, pay attention to that just in case. And for girls, if you want to plump up your lips, maybe just have a couple shots throughout the night strategically, and afterwards just create a little. I didn't mean like that, but oh boy, here we go. That's going to go viral.
That's going to be your clip.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to use that. Absolutely.
You're telling me to go like that. I'm like,
Okay, let's talk about, because we don't want to spill all the beans,
Right.
because you're going to be speaking at the expo and you're going to be talking about this, and it's so important.
Yeah, I will expose treatments that are actually worth spending your money on and which ones to avoid because they're just going to leave you with empty pockets and disappointment.
I love that hook. You're going to expose what treatments to pursue,
Yeah.
and what treatments to run away from and avoid.
Yeah.
And are there a lot of them that are a waste of money and that don't work?
There's a lot. I mean, if people pay attention to the aesthetics world, you'll see trends all the time. You'll see new devices, new procedures, and
Mhm.
everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Then think about it. You're like, hey, what happened to that treatment? Wasn't everybody doing that?
Right.
Right?
If it was so good,
Exactly.
why isn't it stuck around?
Right. But
Right.
people need to reinvent the wheel to bring
Sure.
people back.
Yep.
So there's only certain things that are really going to work.
So it's
And
kind of
that's
like
the things you need to do.
it's kind of like the car industry. Every year they got a new car.
Right.
Every year there's a new eyelash product or treatment or whatever. It's the same thing. All right. What about you just touched quickly about surgeries.
Mhm.
What about the dangers or the unintended consequences or the long-term side effects? Because we're trying to achieve longevity, but there's a lot of products that people are sort of injecting into our bodies. Is there, is there talk about that?
There is more and more talk about that because Botox has now been around for a while now. And
Mhm.
as you know, it's botulism,
Right.
so toxin, essentially. So people are now starting to question and study the long-term effects of pumping in a toxin to your muscles regularly.
Hmm.
So a lot of people are, claiming illnesses and strange side effects after injections. And same thing with filler. That was something that came out recently where a surgeon openly shared an MRI scan of a patient's face. And, the common myth was that after a certain amount of months, the filler just naturally dissolved into your own body because it's a hyaluronic acid or substance that your body would just naturally absorb anyways.
Okay.
And the MRI showed that no, it didn't dissolve, it just migrated. And the cause for concern there is it will migrate into your lymphatic system or other areas within wherever you're getting it injected, and it will block those pathways that are inside of us that we don't really know about unless, you're a physics major or whatever.
Right.
So
When they did the imaging, did it show where it migrated to, or was it localized?
so if, like, to give an example, if this patient had it injected in like her cheekbones or her jawline,
Mm-hmm.
it did not stay in those areas, it just
Oh,
spread. So it
okay.
was just like all over. And this was over a certain amount of years. So basically her entire face, which is what leads to that pillow face,
Oh, what's the
right?
what's the pillow
That
face?
overly filled look.
Got
And
it.
then when someone makes an like an expression and they're just like overly plump.
Hmm. So it does not get metabolized. It doesn't kind of diminish and
Not
get thin throughout the body.
no.
It stays.
And then it's the case of the filler blindness where, oh, I was injected like maybe 5 months ago, so it's got to be gone now. I have to go see them and get more. And then over time, it's just like, when people slowly get fat over time,
Right.
all of a sudden you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, or maybe you don't, maybe you're friends or whatever.
So there's definitely an element of, so can you talk about that? Not necessarily right now, but is there a component of even dysmorphia or body dysmorphia?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
see it all the time,
Right.
but people don't see it. And then it's also like, do you tell them? Do you say, "Oh, I think your lips are too full," or,
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And to each their own, like, I'm all for it. Hey, if you want that overfilled look, go for it.
Right.
I'm always like, do whatever makes you happy.
Yep.
Absolutely. Just as long as you're being healthy about it and safe about it, and it's not stemming from a place of, you don't love yourself enough
Right.
that you have to do all these things.
And that's where we're going to go kind of full circle, but that's why this event is so important.
Yeah.
Because it's so dominant for education and knowledge. And my mission and vision for the summit is to give Canadians and consumers an open dialogue where they can be exposed to some of the greatest around in our neighborhood, in our backyard, because we've got some brilliant minds in Canada.
Yeah.
And most of these events, you've got to go to the States for these types of events, right? So I truly just want to bring incredible minds and share their experience and knowledge so that ultimately the consumers and the guests can just make sound decisions. So they're
informed decisions.
Yeah, so they're empowered. And so maybe that does sort of prevent someone from maybe getting fillers or Botox, or maybe they look into an alternative approach where they can achieve relatively the same results.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be discussing that as well, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to share now? Actually, yeah. Why would anyone want to come? Why? What's some of the benefits?
Why wouldn't you want to come?
Well, I don't know. A lot of times, hey, we're in our third year, so
okay. But if you honestly ask people, like, every time you have a conversation with someone, isn't someone like, they want to improve themselves, like get a haircut, get their hair colored, go to the gym, eat healthier. Everybody wants to improve themselves some way, somehow, even if
Yep.
it's just like a small, I don't know, just like, what supplement should I take?
Right.
I think everybody
Yeah.
wants health and longevity.
We do.
Yeah.
We all do. And it does come about in different forms of conversation. But yeah, you're right. And at some point or another, someone's saying, I want this, or I want to work towards something, right?
Or, oh, I'm just not happy with this. I'd like to change this. Like, it could be as simple as like, oh, I don't like my wardrobe. I want to elevate myself some way, somehow.
Sure.
So we all feel better when we look better.
Mm-hmm. And coming to this event, we are going to be surrounded with so many thousands of people like-minded, all that want to get healthier, happier, stronger, be more informed, meet amazing people, right? Because sometimes there's even individuals that are on their health journey and they feel kind of alone.
Yeah.
Or they feel like they're not really, maybe they're graduating from
lost. Yeah.
lost as well. And so how would this help them?
This will help get the information that they need clarified,
Mhm.
because there is a lot of people on social media claiming to know these things. I feel like I saw one video the other day. Oh, someone grabbed a bag of apricots and they were like, I'm going to eat apricots for 2 days and see what it does to my face.
A lot of sugar,
Like,
a lot of fructose.
but wasn't sure like what the point of it was. So there's a lot of just weird stuff out there. So I think it's important to get it from the experts that have been trained properly, that
Yep.
actually know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and not just, oh, I saw a TikTok on it.
Right. And so how many years again have you been in this industry for?
Oh my God, the wellness beauty industry. Well, now you're gonna like make me sound way older than
Okay,
I
so
am.
how about just is it fair to say a long time?
A long time.
And you're
yes.
very experienced. Would you say that you are definitely
I'm
an
very
authority?
experienced,
Yeah.
and I think your own experience is your best teacher.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I have been through a lot of things,
Yeah.
which I will also probably share
Mm-hmm.
at this.
You're gonna blow the top off of some industries and some things too, aren't
A
you?
little bit of a whistleblower in a sense. So
And we want that.
come at me.
But we want that.
Fair.
We want that. We want thought-provoking conversation. Again, empowering the audience. That's it.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So that's what
Bring
we're
it.
going to do. Amazing. So again, we are going to be on stage with Sarah Scotford, aesthetics, health, beauty expert. And you're going to be talking about all things skincare, biohacking, longevity, things that are conventional, things that are not.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, Longevity Summit Canada, www.longevitySummitCanada.com. You can see Sarah Scotford. Give her a follow on Instagram. What's your handle?
Probably my Sarah Scotford medical one.
Okay.
It's going to be the best skincare
Okay.
related.
So we'll put that down there. And all you need to do is get yourself a ticket. Just click the link in the bio, www.longevitysummitcanada.com for a ticket. And we'll put a promo code in this. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Why not? We'll just do Scotford.
Sure.
Okay. We'll do Scotford and 25% off. How's that?
Done.
Is that fair?
Yes.
You think your community would appreciate that?
I think so.
Okay. So we'll do 25% off, general admission, 3-day tickets, or even VIP if you want. Amazing, amazing. August 9th, 10th, and 11th. So excited to see you on stage at the expo.
Wait, 9th, 10th, and 11th?
Yeah. You're not there?
No, I'm on vacation.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh!
I couldn't even do it that good, though.
She's booked this long in advance. This is a big deal, right? Big deal.
Huge.
Yeah. Okay.
Huge. This is the biggest expo in Canada.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the first of its kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited. Everyone is. So we'll see.
Pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Kind of cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah. All right.
I've known you since like what, grade school?
We have known each other for a long, long time,
Yeah.
since grade school.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to do it.
That's right.
Better be me.
Build it, they will come.
That's right. If you build it, they will come. So we are building Canada's best wellness, biohacking, longevity expo. And now all you have to do is get yourself a ticket. We'll see you there.